Evening Horrors, Matt fucking Haney here. Welcome to another exciting installment of my vlog. It's now period 2, week 1 of fiscal year 18. I want to start off by saying that I love Daniel Tosh, not because of his TV show or his comedy specials or anything about that. It's because of the way that he sets goals. He said that if he wasn't a successful comedian by the time that he turned 38, that he was either going to kill himself or become homeless and just live on the beach for the rest of his life. I was about 20 or 21 when I first heard him say that, and I decided to take a page out of his book. I said that if I wasn't a successful entrepreneur by the time I turned 30 years old, that I was going to kill myself. Or, even worse, I'd reside to the 9 to 5 wearing a shirt and tie playing the corporate chutes and ladders game. I realized that to be an entrepreneur, you had to run your life like a business. So these past 4 weeks while I've been recording these vlogs, I've also been meticulously tracking all of my money, everything that comes in and out, so that way I can prepare a profit and loss statement. If you're not familiar with the P&L statement, it's simply a financial statement that companies use to show all their expenses, costs, and incomes during a certain period of time. Now, I don't know why, but there's a certain taboo about talking about money in America. I mean, I've had friends tell me stories about how they've gotten STDs and abortions, but if I were to ask them how much money they make in an hour or how much money they put in their 401k, they'd be like, whoa, hey, easy there, Matt. What's with all the personal questions, you know? Trying to tell you about the time I got the clap, you know? But I get it. It's very douchey. Most people who talk about their money are just humongous douchebags who, you know, they brag about their portfolios and drive sports cars to overcompensate for the fact that they have some shortcomings in their life. And luckily for y'all, I happen to be one of those douchebags who drives sports cars and has some shortcomings in my life. So let's dive right into it. So one day, I'll be technologically advanced enough that I can just have the screen recorded and just show you guys these files on Excel, but today isn't that day, and I got a GoPro strapped to my forehead, and we're going to take a look at this P&L and this expense sheet real fast. So at first glance, the P&L can be a little bit intimidating, to be honest, because you don't really know what you're looking at. But once you break it down into each little section, it's actually super easy to understand, and it's really easy to make future budgets and plans off your P&Ls. So first things first, here we have the revenue column. Now this is all the money that comes in before taxes and before dental, medical, and all that other jazz. So this is just pure revenue right here. Then if you take a look at your pay stubs, it normally breaks it down into 3 different sections. The money that gets taken out before taxes, money that is taxes, and then money that gets taken out after taxes. So here we have the pre-tax amount, which is the 401k, dental and medical expenses that come out of your paycheck. Then you have good old Uncle Sam getting paid here in the middle with taxes. And then you have the post-tax contributions, which is your Roth 401ks, disability, and stock options. So if you look at the total revenue from my paychecks and other hustles, you get about $6,473 and some change. And then your cost of life, which is all of these things added up over here, ends up being $3,029.51. Ouch. That money's gone before you even get to fucking see it, unfortunately. But because I've chosen to save money based on the ideology of George S. Clausen, who wrote The Richest Man in Babylon. And his ideology is 10% of everything that comes in gets saved, 20% of everything that comes in gets put to debt, and then 70% of everything that comes in, that's what you get to spend your money on. That's your expenses. So I took that a little bit further, and so what I want to do is I want to save at least 10% of my revenue. Before anything gets touched, 10% of this should at least be put aside into savings or investings. And I've been able to save $1,436.73 from period 1 and have that invested in my 401k or stock options. So that's 22.2% of my revenue that was saved or invested, which is just awesome. I'm super proud of myself for being able to save that much. So after you take away all the cost of life, you're left with net income. After your net income, 70% of this should be spent on expenses. Now this is where I fucked up. because I spent $2,827.66 in period 1. That's 82% of my net income. It should be at 70%. So I'm going to take a look at the expense sheet over here. And this shows where all my money went. I break it down into 5 basic categories: food, travel, rent, utilities, entertainment, and shopping. And from there, I can go and I can create a budget for period 2 by making some small changes and adjustments. In those 5 categories, I have all the individual categories. So in food, you got groceries, eating out, caffeine; and travel, you got gas, auto repair, insurance, etc., etc. So I overspent a little bit, but I still ended up with $616.54 in profit. Now that number could be a lot bigger 2 ways. Either I make more revenue, or I spend less money. Or, fuck, do both. Which is what I'm going to try to do when I write the budget for period 2. I'm going to take my revenues and try to increase it by 5%. I'm going to take my expenses and try to decrease it by 10%. Unfortunately, I know it's not going to happen because my fucking truck needs a $1,500 repair on Wednesday, but that's neither here nor there. Okay, so after profit, then I have 2 more things that I use to save. So going back to Georgie and his 10% put aside of everything, I take 10% of not only my revenue, but also my net income. So $345 goes to my main savings, which is basically just my emergency rainy day fund that I just keep stuffed underneath my mattress in case of emergency. But then I also started doing something recently, and I called it pain saving. That should be an N, not a D. But what a pain save is, that's where if I leave anything on my to-do list to get left to do for tomorrow, I put $1 in the jar. Or if I go and I do something that I said I wasn't going to do, or vice versa, if I don't do something that I said I was going to do on a particular day, I throw $1 into the pain save. And because of that, it's forced me to get off my ass and get my to-do list done a lot more. And I've also been able to save $145 over period 1. So after it's all said and done, I'm left with $126.54. Why fucking who? I can go and buy myself a nice ice cream and a CD. But Warren Buffett said, #1 rule of investing is don't lose money. Rule number 2 is rule number 1. And that's what I did. I was able to come out of a period on top without losing any money, so we'll call it a win. So my parting thought for tonight is the saying that money can't buy happiness. In reality, that's just what poor people tell themselves so they don't feel as bad about their situation. I encourage you to make as much money as possible, and even better, save as much money as possible. Max out as much as you can in your Roth and your 401k accounts, so that way you can fucking retire at a young age and live a life that is at the same standard for when you've been working all that time to lead up to retirement. Because maybe one day you get to that golden age of retirement and you look at your finances and you realize that because of inflation and everything else that happens, you're going to be having a fucking hot dogs for dinner standard of life, and what a bittersweet way for it to end.